it's kind of neat to be. It is. It's kind of fun to make fun of that, I guess. And so mine, I think my death scene was pretty much screaming for 24 days straight. So it was fun, I guess.
I what's so fascinating is so many of the deaths are apropos to the victim's fears. And that's what's just fascinating, you know. Debbie's terrified of insects and she dies a cockroach, you know. We have, you have asthma and die of an asthma attack. Like how we're attacked, our deepest fears, our deepest vulnerabilities is what Freddy finds. And you die for it. Anyway.
Well, I just found out I didn't die. Check with me later. No, apparently because I died in the dream, but I didn't die in real life because I come back and forth.
Right.
So now it's been very clear. I've been pondering this for years.
Yeah, that's a great question, by the way.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, my destiny. Here's a little story that when I went in to read for this film, they offered me the part of John. I was supposed to play John. I got the script, I read the script, I read Carlos, and that was kind of it for me. So I called and talked to the producers and Aaron, and I said, you know, I really want to read, I want to play Carlos. And they're like, he dies first, what are you, crazy? And I'm like, but for me, that death scene, like I said, with my mom doing what she did, and kind of coming from the background of abuse and learning how to deal with that, it's like Danny said, it plays on what your fears really are. And I was afraid of the Q-tip, and I was afraid of the mom that was abusive, and I was afraid of most of it. So that's a good question. That's why I picked Carlos to play him, because I really felt closer to him. And that's kind of like crazy in Hollywood, like to turn down the lead role, and they're like, "What are you doing?" It's like I just loved Carlos. I loved it when I read it, and I wanted to play him.
You know, when Sheila died, I remember being on set with Robert, and he looked over at Rennie. He's like, "Hey, does anyone have an apple?" Because I'm in the classroom when I die, because Lisa falls asleep, and she pulls me into her dream. And
sorry about that.
That's all right. So Rennie, I mean, you know, of course, being Robert, it's like, where's an apple? Anyone have an apple? I'm a teacher now. I'm going to be a teacher. So he just starts to improv that whole peeling of the apple in one peel. So I was watching that like kind of a spectator. And then they're like, all right, let's do the setup for your master shot. I was like, oh, right. You know, because I was so engaged. He's just a fascinating actor to watch that you sometimes just forget that you're with him. Until he gives you the gifts, and he gives you gifts as an actor. So when we were doing our death scene, I had to have latex on my face for 2 days straight, because when he kisses me, I shrivel up. And that in between my doll prosthetic and toy real life, I had to walk around with that on. And so he was telling me now, when you feel an itch, what you have to do is, or, so he was like kind of walking me through that. But by the time we got to the death scene where, you know, he put the real knives under my chin and was gonna pull me in, he's like, what would you say if I just said you want a soft face? And he's like, don't tell me now, but when I get in there, I just want you just really, because I had no lines. There was a writer's strike. So literally, the lines was, there were no lines. He was just gonna pull me in, suck the air out of me. And so he's like, here I come. So he goes and he goes through the whole thing and then just pulls my chin in, and I was like, he asked the question, you want a suck face? That was the only thing I came up with no, I don't. He was like, that's perfect. So we had a good time doing our scene.
All right, guys, we have time for one more question, okay? So thank you for the question, sir.
See you.
Great question.
Right on.
And then Linda can wait.
Just a quick one. Thank you all for coming to San Antonio. Pleasure to meet all of you. I know you get kind of desensitized being on set, you know, with, you know, seeing the behind the scenes. But my question is, were there any relatives, spouses, parents, and how did they react to seeing your deaths and the violence in the film?
My grandparents saw the movie, and they were shell-shocked. They were like, I've never seen a movie like that before. It was good. It was great. You know, it was a big blockbuster movie, but they were like this the whole time. Like,
I know my mom went to see the movie, and I grew up in Maine, so she went to this little small movie house. It was
horrified, just like horrified. And then actually it's interesting, my kids didn't want to watch it forever. I've got a 20-year-old and he's sitting in the back. Hi, Luca.
Oh, Lucas
What's
here.
up, Luca?
Hey, Luca.
Luca, what's going on, man?
Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, my son and my daughter saw it on YouTube in German, right? So, but it made it a little easier for her to watch, but no, they hate it. They hate it. I mean, you guys have kids too. How were they when they, or have they?
I waited till they were about 13 before I let them see it. But it's interesting, my mom, I look a lot like my mom, a lot. So she was on set, came on set, and Rennie was like, she could play the older Alice, right? And but it didn't work out because she got married a second time when it was on her honeymoon. The day we were doing it, we didn't get to do it. But my mom was like, yeah, I'd do it. It just was wrong timing, you know what I mean? So anyway.
Yeah, I have my kids. My daughter's 19 and my son's 11. My son hasn't seen it, but when my daughter saw it, she got really upset. I was like, you know, what, she was kind of hysterical. I'm like, what's going on, honey? And she was old enough. I waited too. I wanted them to be, and it was just that, to watch me die, she said, to watch you die, Daddy, is like, I can't do it. And that got me a little bit.
It was where the cussing is what I did with
Yeah,
my
well,
kids. Is that fucking A.
She's used
Sorry,
to the
there's kids
cussing.
here.
That's okay.
Mom doesn't swear.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
My daughter, just to answer your question, my daughter was busy getting killed on Friday the 13th, part 5.
I didn't know that. That's so cool. Fun question.
Hello, I do have a question for you. Psychologically, in the first Nightmare on Elm Street, when Glenn gets pulled into the bed and gets killed, and when Nancy does the tub scene, you know, I was wondering, psychologically, did that have any effect on you growing up?
The first Nightmare on Elm Street, to me, I was scared of it. It's like, yeah, I didn't watch it because I didn't like it. It was too scary. It was this weird new, you know, the bad guy, Freddy. There was in your dreams. There was a new kind of character like that, and they didn't really show him. In number 4, he had lines and was funny, and you know, he was like a character. But the first one, he was always in the shadows, and you didn't see him, and it was always, you know, saying something. And I was probably. I had to be 19. I was pretty old, but I still didn't. It scared me. I was like, because if you watch horror movies, then you're going to be home alone eventually. Like, man, shouldn't have watched that movie. My imagination is running crazy. So.
Good question, though.
Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah,
Question
the
is
first one is
great.
definitely scary. I remember all the chasing and the shadowy and the Tina, you know, all of that. I mean, yeah, psychologically it messes with you, but, you know, and there's a lot of horror films out there. Certain parts of it are just like, wow, that really freaked me out, you know. But
Did it mess with you?
Definitely.
Okay.
I didn't sleep for a good month.
Well, that's good because you're not supposed
You're
to.
welcome.
I didn't take a bath for about a month either.
Then we did our jobs. That's great.
Yes, you did. Thank you, sir. Very good
Thank you
question.
so much.
Thank you. Great question.
thanks, guys.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap up real quick.
All
But,
right.
what we want to do is we have a camera right here. We just want to, if you'd like to say a quick message to Robert about getting well individually, go right ahead. That was the opportunity. Right there, sir.
That's it. Hey, Robert, rain check. We'll see you next time, buddy. Get healed up so we can go surfing again and have a fun time here in San Antonio. You guys have been great, except for Frank, the parking guy.
He's
I don't like that guy.
No, feel better, Robert. I know you love San Antonio so much. I know you do. We were here 2 or 3 years ago. Oh my gosh, we had so much fun. Just hope you're not in too much pain and get better fast, quick. Okay.
Hey, Robert, get well soon. We miss you. See you next year here.
Yeah. Hey, Robert. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, we miss you, man. It's not the same without you here. It really isn't. And I know these guys miss you like crazy. And thank you for sending that video to them because everyone comes up and says how much they love that. Yeah, you're great. We miss you, man.
Miss you, love you, Robert. Was really looking forward to seeing you, and I hope you recover really soon and be well. We love you, and you are missed.
We miss you and love you, Robert. We'll see you the next time and hope you feel better soon.
Miss you and love you, Robert. Get well soon. Bye.
And we're going to do something fun. If the camera could pan to the crowd, guys, on the count of 3, I want each of you to yell, "Get well, Robert," okay? 3, 2, 1. Get well, Robert! Let's do that one more time. Come on, a little louder, all right? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Get well, Robert! There you go. Awesome. Guys, give it up for the Nightmare panel.